Hello. Welcome to the podcast.
Bad bit.
We are now 80 years old. We have rapid aging disease.
All right.
My wife is dead.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the One for the Other podcast. My name is Lane, and
My name is Josh.
my name
I didn't see the. I didn't
You didn't
see
see my cue? You didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
Fucker. Yeah, we're two pretentious douchebags who like talking about movies and music because we suck. We talk about one movie, one record every week. What was the record that you recommended to me last week, Joshua?
Last week, I had both of us listen to the latest album from New York band Diet Cig. If you'll recall, I had some trouble last week trying to describe their sound. And I did say, I was like, there is words for it. I just don't know them right now. I would say now I would describe them as a mix between like pop punk and like indie rock. Would you say that's fair?
That's fair. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the album we listened to, their latest release that came out mere weeks ago was "Do You Wonder About Me?" So yeah, this is their first album to come out since 2017. Swear I'm good at this. Their second LP in total. So Elaine, what were your thoughts on this record?
Didn't like it. That's it. We can move on.
That's it.
Right?
Okay.
We can move on to the next.
All right. And then what movie did you?
No, okay. So I listened to this record 2 or 3 times, and
Good.
it was just kind of a struggle to keep listening to it. I found myself wanting to skip songs in the middle of them, even though they're like not even longer than 3 minutes. Like most of the songs on this LP. Can you call this an LP? I mean, it's 8 songs, 9 songs, 10 songs, 8 to 10 songs, but they're all like a minute long, and it just seems like a disappointment, really. Like if I was a really true diehard Diet Cig fan, and I've been waiting since 2017 for a new LP, and I got this, I'd be very upset.
Yeah. Well, as a fan, a previous fan of this band,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who kept up with this release, I was a bit disappointed with it. I'll say, which I'm a bad judge for that at first. I don't know why, but every time a new album comes out, at first I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then from there, my opinion develops. So at first I didn't like it, and it developed a bit. It didn't develop too much from there. The biggest change, or the biggest thing that was like frustrating for me, was something that you wouldn't notice necessarily, but this album is obviously like a breakup album, and reflects on that. Their last album was also a breakup album.
Oh, interesting.
And like 3 years is enough time to develop a relationship and have another big thing.
Yeah.
But like listening to it, it's like these are great things or themes, but you've already covered them. Like I get that you're mad at this person, but I've already heard you be mad at this person. Like there was no real development in terms of like themes within the music, and I was a little bit disappointing to hear like breakup song right off the bat, and I was like, we literally just heard you sing a breakup album.
Yeah.
One buffer album in between would be nice.
That's true. Yeah, do some fucking weirdo opera shit or something. Do some really weird shit and then go back to making breakup records.
And then we'll really appreciate it because we'll be like, oh god, it's not a fucking opera.
Exactly. See, I'm a music marketing master genius, man, okay? These people need to hire me. Diet Cig, where you at? Diet Cig from New Paltz, New York, United States. Where you at? New Paltz?
Yeah, I didn't love that. Place. I thought, okay, but even though I said that, the lead single and first song on the album, Thriving.
Yes.
I thought it was like it was interesting because on one hand, the person who after a breakup who says, "Oh, I'm actually thriving now. Thanks for asking," is typically the person who's dying on the inside.
Exactly.
So at first it seems really cringy, but
Yeah.
the more I listened to it, the more it felt like they weren't talking to their ex. They were
Yeah.
kind of like arguing with themselves. Like some of the other lyrics made it sound like they were almost trying to convince themselves of it. So
Oh,
that song
interesting.
got better with more listens, but
Hmm.
at first I was like, "What the fuck? I'm thriving. Thanks for asking."
Yeah.
No one asked.
I
What the
really
fuck?
did not like that fucking hook at all. It just made me think of shitty emo Tumblr girls or something. It just made me whinge.
Yeah. I thought the vocal pattern was interesting though that they used for the "I'm thriving, thanks for asking." I
Yeah.
like that little bit, but that's not enough to build the whole song.
Yeah. It definitely was it. And it kind of feels like okay, so this is a recurring theme through the record. It's this mix is just really sterile and really boring and really
Mhm.
buries a lot of some really good stuff potentially. Like it's a duo, right? She plays guitar and he plays the drums.
Right.
And I was expecting that lo-fi sound that they have definitely approached and been involved in for, I don't know, pretty much since this record. If I'm wrong, correct me. But,
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it more when I heard those, I don't know, those fuck ups, that really raw kind of sound. But with this, it sounds like a really shitty pop producer got a hold of it and just ruined it, you know? I it
Yeah.
it feels like the guitars, I can't fucking hear the guitars or the guitar solos, and the drummer, he's like pretty good. He's like good, and like you can't really hear him, and the vocals really stick out like a sore fucking thumb, and I really don't like how she sings either. It's just really this is really whiny and really like, stop it, stop doing the same thing over and over. And and what irks me is that there's moments on this record where she has really pretty vocals and really pretty harmonies, and I was like, oh shit, like you have potential to be like a really good, indie rock singer, but you had to go like the shitty indie rock emo route where it's the whiny
Yeah.
fucking I want to punch you in the face vocals.
Yeah, well,
So,
it's interesting that you say, like, a pop producer because this album really leaned more into their pop stuff
mhm.
than, like, their last album. Their last album had commentary on, like, being in being with involved with, like, the punk community, but
Yeah,
living on that softer side, and there's, like, a line that's like, "It's hard to be a punk while wearing a skirt."
yeah.
You can't use that line in this album. There
Mm-mm.
is one song where there's, like, a hint of that punk in
Yeah,
Flash Flood. That instrumental is so good. I wish they would have done more instrumentals like this on the album.
yeah. I actually wrote that down. I was like, this starts really cool, but then she has that vocal part with the filter over it, and it completely took me out of the whole thing. It's like, what the like, why would you do that? That's actually a cool instrumental, and I wanted to see it fleshed out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I personally don't mind her vocals. I think it's interesting, and that's kind of why I like this
Hmm.
band is hearing those punkier, instrumentals with her, like, higher and different vocals. It's not a Riot Girl band, it's not, just a punk band,
Yeah.
it's this interesting thing, but yeah, it definitely felt like they just it was almost like there's just like, this is her record, and it was,
Hmm.
like, her with the drummer, like, featured or, like, a session musician. It didn't necessarily feel like he was doing too much.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know who produced this record or who was involved with a lot of the creative processes, but it kind of sounds like a record. Did they sign to a record label recently? Is that might be part of it? Like, say they signed a
I'm not
record
sure.
deal, and a sound engineer got a hold of it from the record label and completely fucking fucking fucked it up. Um, but Yeah, I don't know. That's one of my
Uh,
problems with the record, and I have. Wow, I was in a bad mood when I wrote these notes. Holy fuck! This is not a record to listen to when you're in a bad mood. I will say
Not at all. Not at all.
it. But when I was in that bad mood on my first listen, and I was taking these notes, I was like, it just made me more angry for some reason. I was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just there's potential here, and it just pisses me off that they squandered it on this LP that people have been waiting for 3 years. You know,
Yeah. I can definitely feel that.
what's your
Um
favorite song on the record? Would you say?
uh I like Night Terrors.
He did.
Thought that song was pretty good. I like that. It seemed to me it seemed the most like their last record, which
Mm-hmm.
is like kind of stupid to be just want the same record over and over, but I like the direction that record was in more than this one. So
That's
I
fair.
like that. It was the most catchy. I don't know, either that or Flash Flood.
Yeah, I like Flash Flood. My quarrel with Night Terrors though is that it actually that was the one song where I was like, oh shit, this could go somewhere, and then it just ends. It ends at like 2 minutes. It's like what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like they have this little I don't know. It sounds like they're afraid to go explore into these new territories, or they've gone too far. I don't know which, but either way is bad. To stop doing it. Go away. Go back to the studio. Try again.
Yeah.
I think my favorite
Um
song on the record was probably "Who Are You," because it was the most catchy and got stuck in my head the most.
really?
Yeah, I actually kind of like that melody.
I did not. Well, okay, the biggest problem I had with that song was in the lyrics, they keep bringing up like what you did, but there's never any mention of what that is. And I was like, fuck,
Yeah,
stop. Don't
it's
build a
pretty
song
vague.
around this
It's pretty
if you're
vague.
not gonna tell me what it is. I was getting frustrated because I
Yeah.
was like, this is clearly an event so important. You're writing a
Hmm.
song around it. Tell me what it is. I feel like I'm I feel like I'm walking in on you complaining to someone else or something.
That's true. Yeah, that kind of it gives off that vibe definitely lyrically.
I
And
was just like,
across the record, I didn't really like the lyrics at all. Specifically, um, the fucking staring into the sun one, where she's talking about staring into the sun, and it's like this. She thinks it's this profound metaphor about something, but it's just fucking her saying, "I'm staring into the sun" or whatever. And it's like, please stop staring into the sun for everyone's sake. Just leave us alone. Put some damn sunglasses on.
put some sunglasses on unless you are at night.
Exactly. Exactly.
Then you can stare at the moon.
Then you can stare at the sun at night. You can do that.
You can try really hard.
Yeah. The reprise at the end is fucking boring. It doesn't make your song any more interesting because you have a stupid fucking filter on your voice and there's a synth
I re-
instrumental instead.
I really didn't like that song. I mean, it was a neat little song, but it doesn't belong in this record. It
No.
released it B side in like 5 years, but it doesn't belong in this record.
Yeah, definitely not.
Also, not a song that needs a reprise if you wanna, or however you say that word. But
Yeah.
like do that with like thriving or something where there can actually be a difference in like what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
maybe a thriving or a who are you reprise or whatever might be interesting in changing up the theme, but this is just repeating that over and over, and
Yeah.
it doesn't I don't need that. I got that message from Night Terrors and that
And
was
it ends the record too. That's the worst part.
and yeah, it's just like this doesn't belong here. Why are you leaving this when I leave?
Yeah. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and it's just like, oh, why did you do that to me?
That was dumb.
Um. So yeah, I think this may or may not be a case where she had a lot of ideas for songs and tried. I don't know if she even tried to flesh them out. She just kind of recorded them and
Yeah.
put them on a fucking LP, you know, because they're all like a minute fucking long. Like you can't get anything from that. I
Yeah, there's
just,
definitely a lot of short ones.
and the interludes, fucking stupid. Cut them out of the damn record. They're meaningless. They don't mean anything. They're fucking. It's whiny and boring, and you're not a cool hip hop album with silly little interludes in it. No, no,
I
stop it.
did write down, I appreciate having a make out interlude. Just being like, here, this is where you make out. Not
Um,
necessarily a great song to make out to, but like, I mean,
just
shit.
just for having it as like
Just to be like, it's like, here's make out time.
here it
I appreciate that. I might just be lonely though.
is. Do you only make out for a minute though? That's kind of lame. The
Well,
song's
yeah,
only a
then I,
minute 30 seconds or something.
well, then it,
You're one pump chump. Josh, is that what you're trying to tell me?
at one point, at what point in making out do you think I am pumping?
I don't know. You guys do some weird shit.
Shut the fuck up. I like
um,
the background noise in Worth the Wait, that little white noise stuff. I like that a lot in just most songs. That I did. That's all I have for that song, but I just thought that was neat.
that's fair. I'll give you that. Yeah. So I don't know. That's really all the grievances and all I really have to say about this record. Do you have anything else?
Let's see here. The song "Priority Mail." Um, I thought that song was different, but worked a bit. Um, it's kind of cheesy, but I liked it. I thought it was in a good place, like coming off of Thriving, Who Are You, and Night Terrors, and kind of slowing us down because the rest of the album kind of slows from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it worked to bring that in, but yeah. And then Broken Body, that was another moment where I wanted the instrumental to
Mm-hmm.
have been in the rest of the album. That was another good instrumental song. That's all I
Definitely.
had.
All right. Well, what'd you rate it?
Well, the more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's an average record by the band.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them do better, but it's not unlistenable, at least to me as a fan. So I'm gonna give it like a 5.
Okay. Um, and then me, with no personal experiences tied up with this band or no, like no previous fanship. Is that a word? Fanship?
Sure.
Sure, whatever. Um, and just looking at it from the thing, it's 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
So on the tier list, I think that goes below everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. I haven't enjoyed everything. My two least favorite albums are on top right now, but
I twisted your arm, man.
I don't want to put this album above Currents. I would,
No, definitely not.
given any chance, I would put Currents above. Um, I would put Currents on over this album pretty much any day. So
Definitely. Definitely. I don't think
yeah,
I'm going to
put it
listen to this
above.
record again.
I don't know if I will. I might just in passing on a playlist, but I
Yeah,
doubt I'll seek it out like I
definitely.
have with some of their previous stuff. And if you are, for the audience, if you are following along with our lists, um, with watching the video and all, you'll notice that this one is to the side a bit just to make sure everything still looks good. We want to make sure you can see everything when we do these, and obviously the more we put in there, kind of the wider out we have to get. So we're gonna kind of try to snake it, which may be a little confusing, but we'll have arrows. So that's why this album is going to be to the side, and there will be an arrow pointing to it, so you don't get confused.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes, yes.
yes, that's our record. And Lane, you had the wonderful job of picking out a movie for us to watch
Yes,
this
I
week.
did. Yes, I
What
did.
have you chosen for us?
I chose last week.
Oh,
This is a good one. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The spaghetti
what?
western film directed by Sergio Leone. If I said that wrong,
Leon.
fuck you. I don't care. Um, can we do like a 30-minute long Sopranos bit where we just like talk as okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's starring Clint Eastwood, the American man himself, Clint Eastwood, and some Italian people. Really, 1966. Did I say that?
I don't know.
It was released in 1966, and it's everyone knows of this movie, whether you know it from the stills of Clint Eastwood with his hat and his cigar and his poncho over his shoulder, or the soundtrack by okay, I can't get this wrong. I can't get it wrong, dude. The Italians are gonna get me if I get this wrong.
Dude, I took Italian on Duolingo for like 6 hours one night. You were there.
Yeah,
Let me do it. Ennio Morricone.
yes, Ennio Morricone. God, I love. Okay, that's the first thing I want to talk about with this record. The score is really, really, really good. It might be one of my favorite scores ever.
Really?
Honestly, yes. Honestly.
That's interesting.
No,
Because
no.
it's interesting because that classic theme, the classical.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
But dude, they play that fucking song like 20 fucking times. It's like every time Clint Eastwood is on screen, they go, "All right, play that song." And there's like two. I noticed like two other songs in the whole movie. I was like, "Holy shit, this song is cool and all, but
it's cool.
do something else."
But it's cool, Josh.
It was cool.
But it's cool, and they have a different instrument for each of the guys. They had one for Blondie, they had one for Tuco, and they had one for Angel Eyes. Did you notice that? That was cool.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Great. That one part. But dude, there's like 3 fucking songs in this whole movie, and one of them repeats like 18 fucking times. It's a 3-hour movie. They have plenty of time to repeat it. I was over it by the end.
It is a 3-hour long movie. All right. Fair enough, I suppose. It does repeat a lot. But I'm just a sucker for the guitar tone and like the trumpet solo at the end. They play it like 3 times when they're like doing the face off. The fucking trumpet goes wild, and I love it. So overall, besides the score, this is a movie after all.
This would be a movie.
What do you think?
I want to say one more thing about the score.
What's the score?
The song that they play when they're doing the bridge blow up one.
Yeah.
That one other song on the score.
Yeah.
It sounds like when the tigers broke free from Final Cut.
I hate you.
It's the same vibe.
Fuck you, Roger Waters. I'm calling him out right here on this podcast. Roger Waters, come find me. I will beat your old ass.
God. Roger Waters is here. He's with me. He says,
there he is. Oh, shit. Fuck you. My dad is dead. Or something. I don't know. So, yeah. Besides the Roger Waters coming to kill me, what do you think of the record?
This record, this movie, you mean? This movie is fucking great, dude. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
There was fun action, decent story, only slightly weird with the morals.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I think this is the most fun I've had watching one of the movies we've recommended to each other, because it's just so fucking over the top and stupid, and I love it. And it's just making fun of, like the old John Wayne movies with the really gratuitous violence and the like.
Oh my God! Speaking of, I might have to cut this later. I have to ask them after we record this. But
yeah,
my parents, I always watch our movies with my whole family.
Yeah,
and my parents were like, "Let's do a drinking game. Every time someone dies, take a drink."
Holy shit!
They got so fucked up. Oh my God!
You would die of alcohol poisoning. How many shots did you take at the fucking battle scene where they walk in on the Civil War battle.
I don't know what they did. They were like, oh shit, maybe let's just do like a drink of a bigger drink instead of like.
Yeah. Oh no.
But yeah, I wrote down so much shit during this movie. Oh my god, my
Yeah.
notes are huge.
Give me some. Give me some of them.
All right, title sequence in the beginning, badass, love it,
Yeah, sick. Every fucking
so
movie
good.
should be like that.
Um, Also everyone is so fucking Italian. Oh my god. You just look at them and you're like, that guy's Italian, that guy's Italian, the Mexican guy is Italian.
Yeah. It's funny. I was watching this with my dad, and he's like, "How many Italians do you think they got to play Mexicans in this movie?" And I'm like, "Dad, every Mexican in this movie is Italian."
Fucking everyone. I mean, I don't know. I didn't look at the cast that hard, but like,
No.
holy shit, so many of them
Yeah. Yeah.
are
Just looking at
Italian.
the Wikipedia page, you can look at the casting, and it's like Aldo. That's a bad example. Antonio Casas, Aldo Gifferi, Mario
Aldo
Brega,
Campa.
Lorenzo
There's a
Robledo,
Lugigi.
Luigi Pestilli.
So Italian. Um, Also, what the fuck was with the sound sync?
The dubs. I don't know.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? Was it originally in Italian?
I think okay. So the three main characters. Well, no, because there's some Tuco stuff that sounds like they did it in post.
And like even in the first scene where I noticed it, it looked like they were saying the right words, just
Yeah,
not at the right time. I was like, what the fuck?
it's
That shit threw me off
it was
so
weird.
much.
But I know a lot of the Italians. You know the union guy who Tuco's chained to on the train. He definitely didn't speak a lick of English. The drunk captain that they run into, he definitely didn't speak a lick of English. And fucking, this is a scene that I really, really need to talk to you about. The
Yeah.
fucking scene where Tuco's talking to himself in a cave. I don't know where he is. He's like underground or something. And he's talking about his buds, and he's like, "Oh, I miss my friends," and then they all fucking come down
Throw
on
the
ropes.
ropes. He has to like convince them to come out because he's
Yeah,
like,
it's like how
oh, I'm gonna find so much money.
it's like you're talking about them like they're 3,000 miles away or whatever, and like you're never gonna see them again, and then they just come down like fucking firemen on these ropes into whatever fucking dwelling he's in.
That was fucking weird.
And then, yeah, you could tell those guys didn't speak a lick of English either. They were
Oh yeah.
fucking, their dubs were really funny.
It's definitely an old movie. You can
Yeah,
tell.
totally.
Um,
But that's part of the charm. That's what makes it so much fun. And it makes it
some
unintentionally funny.
Oh yeah.
And it's also intentionally funny, I think. I think there's a lot of intention behind, like the scene where they're gonna hang Tuco, and Clint Eastwood shoots the rope and also the hats of three people watching.
That was like a weird thing they did. Was that just something people did in Western times? Was
I
shoot the
don't
hats
think
on
so.
someone? Is that an intimidation thing, or is
I
that
don't
just fucking stupid?
I think it's just like, look at how good he is with his gun. I think it's just one of those, is like, he's a sharpshooter and he can shoot the head off you without killing you or whatever.
And the effects are so bad you can just see it with a string and they're pulling it off their head.
Yeah. See, and the special effects are kind of inconsistent because some of the special effects are actually super cool. Like all the explosions, those seem to
Yeah.
work really well, and it seemed like they use actual explosives and pyrotechnics.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like when Tuco is gonna abandon him at the like church or whatever, and he
mhm.
fires a cannon at him.
Yeah, that looked, and the fucking horse falls over and everything. I'm like, oh
That was
shit,
like
is that a real
scary.
horse? I was
Holy shit, he's
concerned.
gonna die.
Yeah, that was great. I loved all the little explosions and everything, and there was that one shot where Tuco's trying to get the what is it? Shackles, handcuffs. He's handcuffed to the guy, and he
Yeah.
gets him run over by a train, and there's that shot of him flopping underneath the train. That was great. I love that. But and then it's inconsistent because you have those moments where that you can see their hats being pulled off with string, and there's someone just crouching and going whoop and just pulling them all off. So yeah, it's pretty I don't know. It's not revolutionary. I shouldn't say that.
It's pretty cool.
It's impressive for
Yeah.
1966. It's pretty damn impressive.
Something. Wait. Speaking of explosions, though,
Yeah.
the scene during the big battle,
Yeah.
and there's just like a weird montage of all the cannons
Cannon
firing
montage.
that goes on for like 5 minutes, and you're like, dude, like this movie is long, but I didn't feel like it was too long, except for two parts.
Yeah.
That cannon montage
Uh-huh.
that didn't even that was so dumb. Not necessary, not even impressive.
I
Just like
loved
a
it.
shot them, and the smoke comes out, and it goes on for fucking ages. And then also at the end when Tuco gets to the cemetery and he's running around,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like
for like
10
ever.
more minutes, and it's like spinning the camera, and you're like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking throw up.
Yeah.
Those are the only two moments where I was like, this does not need to be this long at all.
That's true. That's true. The cannon montage. I wrote down. I was like, oh my God.
Cannon montage.
I loved that so much. It was just
No.
so stupid.
I was
It was
over it.
so, like, boom, boom. Yeah, should zoom. Yeah.
They didn't even like show where they hit.
I know.
Or all
It just showed the cannons
shot
firing.
after shot of these random cannons.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. They are all different kinds.
Yeah.
I think they just rented a bunch of different cannons and were like, we have to justify how much money this cost.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Like,
What was the budget on this thing?
Budget was $1.2 million.
That's nothing. Oh my God.
Well, is that adjusted for inflation?
I don't know. Adjust it for inflation and see what happens.
Let me adjust it for inflation. See what happens.
You do that. I'm gonna talk about something else.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood is so attractive in this movie.
Yes, that's what I wrote down. I was like, holy shit, he was fucking hot, man.
He was so attractive. Apparently,
Yeah.
his son looks just like him, and they're in Gran Torino together.
Oh shit.
So I gotta watch that and see if
Fuck.
Clint Eastwood's son is single or what's his deal. But then also, they call Clint Eastwood's character is called Blondie. That's like you don't really hear names of anyone. It's
No.
Tuco, Blondie, and Angel Eyes.
Yeah.
Has the ugly, the good, and the bad respectively.
Yes.
That was hard to do in my head right now. But Clint Eastwood is like not super blonde. He's like
No, not a. I was talking with my
Like-
family about that. I'm like, he's not blonde. Why do they call him Blondie?
he's straight up has brown hair.
Yeah, and I think it's only because he's white. And the
Angel
other-
Eyes is white.
Angel Eyes is not white. What?
Angel Eyes is fucking white, dude.
Are you kidding? Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, dude. Like 2 days ago.
You must have been drunk or something because he was not white. He was
No,
the
I
most
didn't drink
Italian
that
looking
night.
motherfucker.
Oh, he's a
Dude,
little bit brown.
He's brown as fuck.
Well, he seemed fucking white compared to Tuco.
But compared to Tuco, yeah. But Clint Eastwood compared to Angel Eyes, Clint Eastwood is clearly white, clearly American, I think that's why. But if it is about his hair color and they wrote it in the screenplay and they thought they were gonna hire a blonde guy and they just kept it in even though they hired Clint Eastwood, that's hilarious. And I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter.
I just found something, and I don't know if this is real, but I think there might be an N64 video game for this movie.
What? No way. You're a liar.
I don't know if I found this on Google Images. Hold on, I have to see if this is real. Did you adjust it for inflation yet?
I adjusted it for inflation. So in 1966, $1,200,000 is equivalent to about $9,495,888. So, not necessarily a super expensive movie.
Oh,
Even
not at all.
so, like, even for a big 3 hour long fucking blockbuster movie like this, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah, that's really good. I was wrong. This is just something someone would want to see. Would be in
Oh,
a GoldenEye type game set in the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly universe. That would be bad.
that would be
Um,
bad. Just played Red Dead Redemption.
yeah, play Red Dead Redemption. Way better thing with Western.
Yeah,
Something I wanted to say, which is weird. I wouldn't think I'd be the person to say this,
yeah,
but um, the 3 hour thing, the length is
hmm,
obviously can be a turnoff. I mean, with
definitely.
quarantine now, it's a bit easier, but
Yeah.
that can still be a turnoff. I think this movie would have worked really well as a miniseries.
Oh, totally. They could have. It could have been a full blown TV show, and I would have loved it.
Yeah, I was because like when The Irishman came out, people were like, "Here's the time codes to watch this as a miniseries," and
Yeah.
I haven't necessarily seen that, but I imagine it's not like this. I mean, this movie is essentially made up of a bunch of different scenes
Mm-hmm.
featuring the same characters, but not all super interrelated. Like, yes, there are interrelated scenes, and like,
Yeah, like they piece
but like,
together the A and B plot really well, or C plot. Is there three? No, there's only two. The A and B plot really well, and they don't really see each other until the last third of the movie. So
right,
yeah,
and like, there's just a lot of stuff that would be fine, like disconnected, like that whole bridge sequence. That's that on its own as an episode would not stand out like as being jarring to come back to that. So
not at all.
I think this movie would have been really good, and I think if someone hasn't already, I haven't looked into this at all,
Hmm.
but someone should like time code this movie to be like, if you want to watch this as a mini series, here's how, because I
Yeah,
think this
totally.
movie lends itself really well to that.
Hmm. But also the 3 hour long movie length. I'm not really turned off by that. I kind of look forward to it if it's 3 hours long to see how they justify it. And I don't know if it's really justifiable the length, but when I was watching it, it never seemed to, well, besides the canon montage, it never seemed to super really drag at all. It seemed really well
Yeah,
paced and really well done, and it was really deliberate in how it was went from plot point to plot point,
100%.
and where to characterize characters and where to move the plot forward. It seemed really well paced.
Yeah,
So
I thought it didn't drag at all.
mhm.
The editing was a little bit slow sometimes,
Yeah,
but I didn't really notice overall. It's just a few times where the cutting was a little bit weird.
yeah,
But that could also just be like that's compared to the sound, I think. So
yeah.
that's already kind of weird. Um,
But the
there's
sound
a
design, that
yeah,
is pretty fucking good. Like the Foley and sound design. Foley? How do you say that?
fully.
Foley. The Foley is damn good because I know for a fact they did 100% of the sound effects through Foley. Um, and it worked out really, really well.
Oh yeah, the sound was great, and their use of no dialogue, especially in the very beginning,
Definitely.
and like that final showdown. They have the dialogue is fine. Not when you're not looking at the image, but
Yeah.
um, the use of no sound there was really cool, and
Hmm.
I mean, that's something that some people might not enjoy. I think that's a personal taste thing, but I really enjoyed that. I
I did
thought it
too.
still
Yeah.
carried the tension really well, especially at the beginning when he's just staring him
Oh,
down.
yeah.
God,
That's
that was
fucking
like
sick.
terrifying.
Yeah. It gives me chills just thinking about it. Woo! Yeah, that's fucking awesome. There's so many scenes in this movie where it's super tense, and yeah, and that's another thing with the pacing. It knows where to pick its moments and where to be funny and be stupid. He's in a bathtub, fucking
He
taking a
has the
bath, and he shoots him.
gun under the water.
Yeah, and then
Also,
the next
it's,
scene, he's shooting like six guys in a super cool showdown. So
and when he's in the bath, he doesn't wash his face at all. I'm assuming so he can keep on his Mexican makeup.
oh,
Um,
definitely, definitely his brown face.
yeah. God, I was a little bit glad that it didn't have any, like, indigenous characters
Yeah.
or, like, black characters
Mhm.
just because they wouldn't have handled it well.
I don't think so
Like,
at all.
I was really worried there's gonna be some really weird, like, racist indigenous character,
Mhm.
but
But
there
no,
wasn't, so that
there
was good.
wasn't. It was really good. And you know, hearing the score before watching the movie for the first time, I always expected it to be about, cowboys and Native Americans, and I was like, oh, it might be a little racy. But no, it's just about the Civil War, and it's smack dab in the middle war. Smack dab in the middle of the Civil War, which is also interesting because a lot of the westerns I've watched have either taken place before or after the Civil War with their respective, this has happened because the Civil War has ended. But this happened right in the middle of it, and it handled that as a plot point really well, and I really enjoyed them exploring that aspect of it.
Yeah, and they really kind of, were interesting about, like, how they approached it politically because
Hmm.
they were really, like, just trying to do their own shit, and the war just got in their way,
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
were kinda showing, like, "Man, these guys are assholes, but
Hmm.
these guys, they're also assholes."
Yeah, there's no
So,
like really good guy or bad guy.
it was like, "War is hell." That was
Hmm.
what the message it seemed to say in terms of war. It's just like,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, it
just
was it was in the '60s. It was made in the '60s, so it definitely has that air of you know anti-war, war bad kind of thing,
oh,
and I
yeah.
love that shit. I love the
Oh, yeah.
protest shit.
Mhm.
I want to talk about the makeup and the costume design because that shit
Oh,
is immaculate. Oh my god.
his fucking face after he's in the sun is so
Yeah.
fucking gross.
Is so disgusting and real looking.
It
And
was
like his
so real,
lips and everything. It's like, oh my, it looks so brutal. And
but I loved it, but
yeah. But yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Ugh.
And the
Oh,
costume
and
design is perfect. I loved it.
yeah, and speaking of, like, face stuff, when that guy comes back and the guy who, Tuco shoots from the bathtub,
Yeah.
when they first show him, I immediately recognized him.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, "What fucking?" Because he had the scar. Oh, shit, I hit my mic. He had the scar on his cheek,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, shit, I actually really, like, know who that is. That's really cool."
Yeah. It was really sick. And it came out of nowhere. It's like, oh shit. It's this guy. Oh my god.
Oh, that guy.
And then he died.
But
But,
they died a little bit later. It was kind of a dumb point.
yeah.
It didn't serve any purpose, but I don't maybe they just had the actor for another day, and they were like,
Maybe.
"Shit." He just wandered on the set, and they were like,
Yeah.
"You wanna shoot a scene real quick?"
He's taking a bath. We can just go in there.
That was just
Walk over there.
actually that actor's green room.
Yeah. It was a Civil War ridden fucking broken down saloon.
Dude, the fucking locations, I would die to visit any of those. Like,
Yeah.
I know those are all probably fake, but oh my god, just that, like, old wooden house that's been destroyed and
Hmm.
shit. I would love to be there. I love that stuff.
Yeah. And the old saloons and the brick houses and and they did a really good job showing the destruction of it and how they kind of dealt with it. Or they didn't really
Yeah.
deal with it. They were just like, yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's just more like anti-war stuff where it's just like
hmm.
he's hiding out in some abandoned house and like the fucking wall gets exploded right in front of him at one
Yeah.
point. Like, holy shit!
Oh man. Yeah, this movie is fucking sick. I think the acting, Clint Eastwood is Clint Eastwood, and I fucking loved it. It was so great. He had a lot of those cheesy John Wayne one-liners, and it fit perfectly for his character. And half of the movie is either him lighting a cigar or smoking a cigar. And
Oh,
I,
dude, the fucking scene in the church right before he attacks Tuco at the cannon,
mhm.
and he finds the dying soldier,
Yeah,
and he gives him the cigar and then puts it back in
but
his fucking mouth.
the dude's
Ugh.
last breath was his fucking gross ass Clint Eastwood cigar.
And it's so far in his mouth.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
just
god,
like
it's gotta be
chewing on
so
it.
wet.
Oh god, yeah, no doubt.
So fucking gross.
And they actually use that as a plot point when Tuco's trying to find him. He's like, "Oh, this cigar is not quite, it's not as fresh." And then he puffs on it. His gross used cigar that's in a fire pit, and it cherries or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, he's really close." And I was like, "Oh my god, they actually have a reason for him smoking these fucking cigars all the time."
Yeah, and then he lights the cannon with it too, and that's
Yeah, that was sick. I like that a lot.
yeah. That would look really good too, because it like took a minute to light.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, that's like cool."
Damn.
There's a lot of I could talk about so much more.
Yeah, but you know what?
We should end.
Yeah, we should wrap it up. What'd you rate this movie?
I rate this movie a 10 out of 10. I love this movie.
I think I agree with you. I think this is a 10 out of 10. There are some really shitty dated, things to this movie, but that adds to the experience, and it's just a fucking riot to watch.
It is indeed.
Everyone,
Right.
go watch it. It's on Netflix. Split it up however you want. It's 3 hours long. I know you all have the time. Come on. Don't give me that shit.
It's just under 3 hours, so like you're good.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 58 minutes. So get fucked, everyone.
It's really good,
And
it's good. Where are we putting this on the list?
This is at the top of the list. This has to be.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, this has to be at the top of the list. Yeah.
This is gonna be a bitch to move around though. I gotta move every single other poster for this.
You gotta move down and to the right. Oh man. Fuck. Yeah, what a great film. And it also helps that I've been I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. Like,
oh yeah,
I've been playing it religiously. So that was just like, I'm on a big cowboy kick right now. And that was just
cowboy,
yeah! I tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
So yeah.
All right.
So you have the movie for this
I have
week.
the movie.
So what's your movie recommendation?
Movie recommendation, which I just found a few hours ago from scrolling through Netflix, but I'm super excited to watch this actually.
Yeah.
The movie, let me find it again. It's directed by the one and only Bong Joon-ho. It is Snowpiercer.
Oh, with Chris Evans in it?
I think so. Yeah, Chris Evans is in it, and Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite and Okja, directed this. So I'm super looking forward to this. I don't know if the genre is in Korean, so I don't know if there parts of it are in Korean or not. But yeah, I'm super excited.
Totally.
I've loved Parasite. Super excited to see Bong Joon-ho's other work.
Oh yeah.
What are we gonna be listening to?
Okay, this is a weird one.
I'm ready.
But it's not really weird. It's a weird one for me because I don't really know why I haven't listened to this record yet. Excuse me. So it's a record I haven't listened to. It's a record you definitely haven't listened to. It is The Life of Pablo by Kanye West.
Oh, I know I haven't listened to this.
It's a record that a lot of people talk about. I mean, people talk about Kanye all day long, and I have just not listened to the guy at all. And I think this might be a chance to see what all the hubbub is about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
All right, y'all. Go follow us on the Instagram. Do we have Twitter?
No, we don't.
Go follow us on the Instagram. Go subscribe to us on the YouTube. One for the other podcast.
Send us an email. Give us some suggestions.
People. Come on, we're running out of movies and records.
We're running out of shit. I just went to award-winning films on Netflix. I mean, there's a lot here, though. I really could have picked a lot. There's a lot of good movies out there. If you don't watch our movie, go watch some of the stuff on here. Yeah. I mean, shit. Social Network's on here. Taxi Driver, Perks of Being a Wallflower, Drive, Back to the Future 2, Groundhog Day,
Go
Silver
watch some
Linings.
damn movies. Go watch some damn
Swiss Army Man is in this category. Guess what? We watched that movie.
Yeah.
Go watch that movie.
Go watch the movie and then listen to the podcast, you fuckers.
And say, no, you were wrong. You just don't get it.
And argue with us. Argue with us in the comments. Scream at us.
Even though we liked that movie and say you don't get it.
Scream at us. Call us.
Screaming comment.
Call us little babies, and we'll call you little babies back, or not, because we like
If
you
you,
all very much.
if you listen this far, please leave a comment on the YouTube that is just like and make it like
As many A's
40
as you want,
characters long.
and as many A's and H's as you want. There's no rules, like the
Just
Wild West. Yeehaw, cowboy!
yeehaw, cowboy.
All right, everybody, go watch Snowpiercer. Go listen to Life of Pablo, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, babies.
I gotta figure out a way to reword that. Be like a politician. Be like, I partake in transportation that is not via me. I'm environmentally conscious, and so my preferred method of transportation is not a car.
It is. Your Abraham Lincoln turned into fucking Bill Clinton.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
With that skateboard.
With that fine piece of ass.
Oh shit! Got me all worked up now.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna regret. Oh, fucking F. It's weird. This microphone. Oh god. Oh fuck. The gain is so sensitive on it.
I'm like, the gay is so sensitive. Fucking got him.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Oh!
Oh, jeez. For fuck's sake, man.
Il buono, il brutto, il cattivo. Let's do this whole podcast in Italian.
Ennio Morricone. Okay, I need to learn how to fucking say these guys' names.
What, Duco?
No.
Or Sergio Leone?
Is it Sergio Leone or Sergio Leone?
Sergio Leone. I don't know.
Here.
Do it as a with a bit over exaggerated accent as a joke, and then just never do a real one.
Okay.
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone.
Sergio Leone.
Hey, babu.
And then Inicio. How the fuck do you spell his name? Ennio. It's.
What'd you call me?
You
Hey. Who else are you looking at?
Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone? Who the...
He's the dude who did the
music, man.
Yeah.
What about Tonino Del Colli?
Alberto De Pay.
Didn't they shoot this thing in, like, Rome?
They shot it in Spain, I think.
Wild.
Oh, no, yeah, in Rome. Filming began in Rome. Oh, he was unable to find an actual cemetery for the Sad Hill shootout scene, so Spanish pyrotechnics chief hired 250 Spanish soldiers to build one in Corazon near Saras de los.
You can just hire soldiers?
You just hire them, pay them, be like, build shit.
Don't they have a job already?
No.
Oh. Oh, let me get the...
Oh my god. Dude, I need to do some tongue twisters. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. How many pickled peppers did Peter Peter pickle pepper piper?
Pussy.
Okay. Let's do this, fucker. You ready?